What if I told you that almost everything you've ever learned about attraction is just flat out wrong? Seriously. Today we're not doing dating tips, we are cracking the attraction code. We're talking about 7 powerful psychology hacks that can unlock a genuine, powerful connection.
Okay, first things first, let's just get this out of the way. Every single cheesy pickup line you have ever tried to memorize, yeah, they're useless. Just forget them. The source material is super clear about this, they just don't work. Period.
So if all that old advice is junk, then what's left? What is the actual secret to attraction? Well, we're about to dive into what really creates that kind of undeniable spark. All right, Section 1, Hacking Human Psychology. And check out the subtitle. It's not about what you say, it's about understanding the mind. And that's the whole key right there. This isn't about scripts or lines, it's about getting a handle on those deep, subconscious triggers that actually drive desire.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting. It's all about being subtle. I mean, the source puts it like this. The real way to attract is to hack their psychology so they don't even realize what's happening. Think about that. It's not about forcing something, it's about creating this natural, powerful pull that they can't even put their finger on.
Okay, so where do we even start? Let's get into what the source calls the value plays. These are hacks 1 through 3, and they're all about one thing: building your perceived worth, making you seem like a high-value, desirable person right from the jump.
All right, hack number 1 is something called the knowledge effect. This one is pretty fascinating. It's this theory that you actually become way more attractive when you're involved in a social cause, like charity or volunteering. And you might ask why? It's because genuine selflessness, it's just incredibly magnetic.
So how do you actually use this? Well, step 1 is obvious. Get involved in something you actually care about. But, and this is the key, you can't brag about it. The source tells this great story about a guy who tutored kids on the weekends. He never mentioned it, but his friends did, casually, when the girl he liked was around. And just like that, her whole perception of him shifted. He went from being this kind of arrogant athlete to a genuinely kind, high-value person. It just goes to show how powerful that social proof can be.
Okay, get ready for this next one, because hack number 2, the empathy gap, is a real game changer. It's all based on this idea that our brains operate in 2 different modes. You've got your logical, cold state, where you're driven by reason, and then you've got the emotional, hot state, which is all about desire, curiosity, that kind of thing. The secret here, if you can find a way to shift someone from that cold state to the hot one, their entire view of you can flip in a second. So how do you do that? Well, here's this specific play for escaping the dreaded friend zone. Let's say you feel like you're stuck there. The idea is to casually show a little bit of interest in one of her friends. What does that do? It sparks a hot state, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of curiosity. All of a sudden, she might start seeing you in a new, more competitive light.
All right, next up we have a total classic from psychology, the scarcity effect. The idea is super simple, but it's so powerful. We are just hardwired to want things that are rare, limited, or kind of difficult to get. You know, think about limited edition sneakers or those exclusive clubs. Well, the exact same thing applies to you, to your time, to your attention. If you're always available, you're subconsciously lowering your own value.
And look at this comparison here. It lays it out perfectly. On the low-value side, you've got things like texting constantly, always agreeing with her, basically showing you're bored without her. But on the scarce and high-value side, you're living a busy life. You've got the gym, hobbies, friends. You have your own opinions. You're a little unpredictable. See the difference? That's what signals that your time is valuable, which in turn makes you more valuable.
Okay, so you've built up your value. You're not always available. Awesome. But what happens when you're actually talking to them? That brings us to our next set of hacks, the influence plays. These are hacks 4 and 5, and they're all about shaping perception and choice during a conversation.
Hack number 4 is the suggestibility effect, and this one is all about the words you choose. Here's the big takeaway. The words you use don't just describe your stories, they actually define how people remember them. Using powerful, extreme, and emotionally charged words literally makes your stories more memorable.
So, what does this mean for you? It means upgrading your vocabulary. Look at this. Instead of "it was good," you say "it was absolutely hilarious." Instead of "that was scary," it becomes "it was a terrifying experience." The source even points to this study about a car crash. When people heard the word smashed instead of hit, they remembered the accident as being way more severe. Your words literally create the reality of the memory for them.
And that idea of choosing your words leads us right into hack number 5, the framing effect. This is a really clever one. It's all about presenting options in a way that guides someone to the choice you want. But, and this is the important part, they feel like they're totally in control. Check out this super practical example of how to ask for a date. The wrong way is needy. Will you go for coffee with me? That's a simple yes or no. But the right way, using framing, is different. You ask, what do you prefer, coffee or drinks? Let's try one this weekend. See what you did there? You didn't ask if you'll go out, you asked what you'll do when you go out. The yes is already built in. Okay, now we're at a really crucial turning point. So far, all these hacks have been about what you can do. But this next one, the investment play, is about flipping the script. It's hack number 6, and it's all about getting them to invest in you. And this is all based on something called the Benjamin Franklin effect. This is so fascinating because it's completely backward from what you'd expect. We all think we do favors for people we already like, right? But the psychology actually works the other way around. When someone does a small favor for you, their brain has to justify it. And it does that by deciding, hey, I must like this person if I'm helping them. So how can you use this today? The source gives this perfect modern example using social media. Step 1, you see she posts a story about a place she loves. Step 2, you reply with a compliment. And then step 3, you ask for a tiny favor. I'm thinking of going there. Any tips? It's so small, so low pressure. But when she helps you out, her brain chalks it up as an emotional investment in you. It's subtle, but it works.
All right, we've made it. We are at the final move, hack number 7. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. This is all about mastering that lasting impression. And it's called the peak end rule. This is such a weird but true quirk of our memory. You see, we don't remember an experience from start to finish like a video. Nope. Our brain just grabs a snapshot of 2 things. The most intense moment, that's the peak, and how it ended. That's it. Everything else just kind of gets blurry.
And that is exactly why this is so critical. Your last impression is the only impression that matters. Think about it. You could have the most amazing date, a great conversation, but if it ends on a weak, awkward note, that's all they'll remember. For our brains, the ending is the memory. So how do you engineer a killer ending? The source lays out this wild move called the mysterious exit strategy. Here's how it works. Near the end of the date, you have a friend call you. You take the call, but you're super vague. Something like, yeah, I'm free now, let's meet. Then you hang up, end the date by saying you had a great time, and you leave. Now, if she asks who called, you just smile and say something like, I can't tell you right now. The point isn't to be a liar, it's to create a moment of mystery, a peak right at the very end. That's what's going to keep you on their mind.
And there you have it, the whole playbook. 7 powerful hacks grounded in real human psychology. You now have the playbook. The only question left is, are you ready to become a psychological mastermind?